How many people have ever shopped at Walmart? How many people ever shopped at Walmart? What is, if you had to put one reason on it, what is Walmart's #1 strength? What's the #1 reason people shop at Walmart? Low prices, right? In fact, until just recently, their slogan was always low prices, always, right? Walmart, big strength, low prices. Great. Is there anything wrong with Walmart, though? Any problems Walmart has? Any things you don't like about Walmart? Takes too long to check out. Amen right there. That is my biggest beef with them, right? Sometimes I'm like back in the meat department. I don't even know if I'm in line or if there's just a clog around the chips, you know? So Walmart has slow lines. Anything else you don't like about Walmart? Do you find real helpful people there to serve you at Walmart? Okay? You can't find anybody, right? The place is the size of 47 football fields. The stuff's stacked to the ceiling. Is it usually nice and clean at Walmart? Nice and organized? Okay? So we all agree that Walmart has one huge strength, but they got a lot of weaknesses, right? We'll come back to Walmart. How many of you ever shopped at Target? Okay? Target. What is Target good at? Does Target have the lowest prices? No. So they've got a weakness where Walmart has a strength, right? Walmart's got the lowest prices, Target doesn't. But why do people shop at Target then? What's their strength? What are some good things about Target? Quality, customer service, okay? It's cleaner, okay? In a sense, we've got Adventurous Al and Librarian Lucy, don't we? Right? Target is everything that Walmart isn't. And Walmart is everything that Target isn't, right? Now think about this for a second. Imagine if Walmart decided that they had weaknesses and they needed to fix them. Okay? So they decided, why are there long lines? Why are there long lines at the checkout? Because there's not enough of them open. So what would they have to do to decrease the lines? They'd have to hire more cashiers. And if they were going to provide more assistance to you out there, they'd have to pay their people more. They're notorious for treating their people poorly, paying them low wages. Okay? They'd have to pay their people better, and they'd have to hire more people to actually be out there. Okay? And let's just even stick with that one. If that's the only thing they did to try to fix their weaknesses, what would happen to Walmart's key strength when they did that? The prices would go up, and their strength would diminish. Does that make sense? Our strengths and our weaknesses are connected. There's probably no better place you could be than at the Association of Fundraising Professionals Conference today. I don't know if you've heard, but we're in a little bit of an economic downturn. And organizations, especially nonprofits and individuals, have seen their investments hit pretty hard. People are losing jobs. Corporations are going out of business. Nonprofits are going out of business. You're seeing a reduction in donations. There's government cutbacks. And at the same time, more people need the services that you're providing. And you need more money to be able to do the things that you need to be doing. And you find yourself going after a shrinking pool of resources while you actually need more resources in order to be successful. How many of you are experiencing some of those negative effects? How many of that resonates with some of the folks out here, right? How many of you could use a little extra money at your organization? How many would be happy to? Okay, so we're 2 for 2 so far. How many of you work for organizations that have weaknesses that aren't perfect? Okay. How many? All right, so we're 3 for 3. Okay. 3 for 3. So that's the bad news. The bad news is there's an economic downturn. We need more money, and we have businesses, we have organizations that aren't perfect. But there is some good news. And the good news is that you can actually use your organizational weaknesses, not conquer them, not fix them. You can use your organizational weaknesses to help you generate additional revenue. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So the first thing that we need to think about is being different. Everybody knows that differentiation is important. Organizations, every marketing book you'll ever read will talk about the importance of differentiation and the importance of standing out. And lately I've learned a little bit about being different. I didn't used to live in North Carolina. I used to live in Wisconsin, and I moved down here 5 years ago to become a college professor. And in my first class, I teach mostly adults, non-traditional students, working adults who are coming back to school to get their degree. And I was in one of my classes, and it was my first class, my first night, and I thought, these people are going to know from my accent that I'm not from around here, so I might as well just be upfront about it. And so I said, why don't you all guess where I'm from? And actually I said, you guys, because I was from Wisconsin, so I didn't say you all, I said you guys. And people guessed different things, California, Maine, different parts of the country. And finally someone said the Midwest. And I said, that's right. I said, that's right, the Midwest. I said, where in the Midwest? And it got real quiet and nobody had any answers. And then someone shouted out, Connecticut. And that's when I knew I was a long way from home and people didn't even know where home was. And so I've learned a little bit about being different, and that's what we're going to talk about today. The other thing I learned is that when I was growing up, I thought the New York Yankees were a baseball team. And then I moved down here and found out that they are a baseball team, but it's also a kind of person. And that I am that kind of person. And recently, I realized I've taken it a step further because I found out if you come down here from the north and you don't go back, you go from being a Yankee to being a damn Yankee. And so apparently I've stepped up to that new level. I saw this great thing in a store the other day. It said, I'm not from the South, but I got here as fast as I could. Right? And that's definitely the way I feel about it. But in that first class still, at the first break, it seems as though they'd nominated one of the students to kind of talk to me. And she raised her hand real shy. I still remember her, Sarah Dixon. We're still friends. And she raised her hand and she said, they teach y'all how to talk fast up there in Wisconsin? And I said, well, I don't know. I said, I probably talk fast even for the people in Wisconsin. She said, because we do things just a little bit slower down here. And if you could just settle it down a little bit, we sure would appreciate it. And there's important lessons there, right? When we're different, we stand out and people notice, right? When we're different, people oftentimes criticize us or have names. And I know people are mostly teasing when they say Yankees, but some people aren't. And not only do that, but people don't just criticize us, they want us to change. They want to change us. Could you slow down? Right? Could you do things differently? Right? When we're different, people try to change us. As Alice said, I have a wife and 3 daughters. They're 7, 5, and 2. And one of the things about my wife is that my wife is 5'3". I am 6'6". And so I don't even fit in, even in my own family. I stick out even in my own family. And one of the things I've discovered by having a wife who's very short and I'm very tall is that in our relationship, deodorant is much more important than breath mints. And I found that because I'm different, because I'm the only man at my house, they're trying to change me. They're gradually trying to turn me into a woman. And it happens subtly, right? It happens subtly. People usually don't come right out. Sometimes they do. But people usually don't come right out and tell you to change, tell you to stop being different. It happens subtly. So one day I needed to take a shower, which is already another place I don't fit in. You know, the shower head comes up to about here, and I ought to kind of get down like this just to wash my hair. But I needed some soap, and we were all out of soap. So I asked my wife, I said, do we have any extra soap, maybe under the sink somewhere? She said, no, but here's a loofah sponge and some body wash. Now, I wasn't prepared to go all that. I mean, it wasn't just body wash, it was the sponge too. I wasn't prepared for this. So she gives me the loofah sponge and the body wash, and it wasn't just any body wash either. It was exfoliating body wash. Now, if you're a man and you're not familiar with this sort of thing, that sounds sort of fancy, maybe sort of French. Exfoliating. Exfoliating, if you look up the dictionary definition, means removes layers of skin. Okay? That's what it means. The key ingredient in exfoliating body wash is sand. Sand is also the key ingredient in 2 other products, sandpaper and sandblasting. Okay? And so she hands it, and a loofah sponge also sounds delightful when in fact it's sort of like taking steel wool into the shower. Right? So you take sand and you add it to steel wool and you begin to rub your body with this, and it's a little bit problematic. I came out, I had removed all of my layers of skin, and it took me a couple of weeks to recover. And it wasn't just any body wash either. It was from Bath and Body Works. Right, ladies, you know what I'm talking about, Bath and Body Works. And it was warm vanilla sugar. Right? Warm vanilla sugar. Right? Amen. We're getting some amens from the crowd here, right? Warm vanilla sugar. And I'd always loved that song, Pour Some Sugar on Me, right, by Def Leppard, but I never thought it would happen alone in the shower, right? That wasn't the video I saw. That's not the way it happened when I thought about it.